One Nation, One Election bill is slated to be introduced in the lower house of the Indian Parliament on Tuesday. The bill, which provides for simultaneous elections, is in the listed agenda for Lok Sabha for Tuesday with the name Constitution 129th Amendment Bill. It will be introduced by Law Minister Arjun Ram Meghwal. Besides this, Minister Meghwal is also set to introduce the bill to amend the Government of Union Territories Act 1963, the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Act 1991, and the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganisation Act 2019. This bill seeks to align elections for assemblies in Delhi, Jammu and Kashmir and Puducherry for purposes of simultaneous elections. The Union Cabinet had in September accepted the recommendations of the High-Level Committee. The panel recommended the implementation of simultaneous polls in 2 phases. It recommended holding Lok Sabha and Assembly elections simultaneously in the first phase and conducting local body elections, that is Panchayat and municipalities, within 100 days of general elections. It said there should be a common electoral roll for all elections. While in the upper house of Parliament, further discussion on the glorious journey of 75 years of Constitution of India will be taken up. The 2-day discussion, which began on Monday, went off with a direct face-off between the 2 national parties. DD India's correspondent Anil Thomas has the details.
Nirmala Sitharaman opened the debate on the glorious journey of 75 years of the Constitution in Raj Sabha. She slammed the previous governments and accused the Congress party of prioritizing family over democracy by suppressing freedom of speech and using constitutional amendments to consolidate power. She stressed that the Indian Constitution has stood the test of time.
Post-Second World War, nearly 50 countries, in fact over 50 countries, had become independent and they had their constitution written, but many have changed their constitutions, not just amended them, but literally changed the entire feature of their constitution. But our constitution has stood the test of time, of course yielded itself to very many amendments.
The Union Finance Minister red-flagged the license quota Raj of Congress rule, which ruined India's economy. She questioned the role of the Congress in India's economic growth.
4 decades of patronage of socialist ideas and policies came to hardwire Indian politicians, bureaucrats, intellectuals, and even business people in ways that made a swift march to a market economy politically challenging. That's the reality of the policy of the Congress party, which they themselves came. We've reformed the country. They baggaged the country in 50 years, and later they wanted to claim that they are reforming and bringing prosperity to this country, which is not true.
Leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge, emphasized that all must adhere to the constitution and its preamble. The party also gave women the right to vote long before several other nations.
जब बहुत से शक्तिशाली देशों ने यूनिवर्सल अडल्ट फ्रेंचाइज नहीं था, महिलाओं को वोट का हक नहीं था, तब भारत में महिलाओं के समेत सभी को यूनिवर्सल अडल्ट फ्रेंचाइज का अधिकार अगर किसने दिया, वो कांग्रेस ने दिया, संविधान ने दिया.
Union Petroleum Minister Hardeep Singh Puri slammed the earlier Congress governments while speaking in the Raj Sabha. He claimed that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar opposed the Article 370, advising Sheikh Abdullah to not isolate Kashmir from India.
What should have been a transitional provision ended up assuming a permanent character for nearly 70 years because the Congress lacked the courage to act.
Raj Sabha is also likely to see high-octane sessions as the discussions will resume on Tuesday. It comes as the Lok Sabha, after 2 days of spirited discussions, wrapped up its debate on the Constitution on Saturday. Anil Thomas, DD India, New Delhi.
All right, DD India's Anil Thomas joins us from New Delhi. Anil, good morning. Now, we've just given a broad outline of what all is to be taken up in both the houses of Parliament today. You get us more details. One Nation, One Election bill is set to be introduced in the lower house. Get us more. How is the house or the political parties, poised there? What do we expect? How do we expect the day to pan out?
Well, good morning. Good morning there. It's a very tricky situation, especially when it comes to political parties on how to go about with this particular one nation, one election. If you ask me with regards to, some political parties seem pretty open to the idea of listening to what the government wants to bring, with this particular two bills, the One Nation, One Bill and the simultaneous bill when it comes to especially the Union Territories Treaty. So it's a very interesting kind of a toss-up there. No party, cutting across party lines, you will not see any unanimity that the opposition has managed to get together on this. It's almost going to be a similar story of what yesterday transpired in the lower house, especially when it comes to the EVM machines, questions being raised about it. It's a divided house that we see, especially when it comes to these kind of rituals. I've spoken to various, party leaders from, the big national parties as well as regional forces. They are open to the idea of listening to what the government brings to the table and maybe, judge this bill on its merits. And, that's where the big positive is. If the government has managed to get that kind of initiation, that kind of ideas into the mind of opposition parties, it works for its benefit. The government will be able to present the bill. The Union Law Minister will present the bill in the lower house. There is a whip that's been issued, with the Constitution Day, the discussion on the Constitution Day. So all parliamentarians from BJP are expected to be in the house. So it's going to be a good discussion where this bill will be presented. In all likelihood, this bill will move to a joint parliamentary committee where, every party will have, some members. Since BJP is the largest party on the floor of the House, BJP will have the maximum members in this particular joint parliamentary committee. But all in all, every political party will get a representative there when deliberations, especially in the JPC, begin. So it's going to be an interesting toss-up. We'll have to see because there are various forces inside the opposition that have staunchly opposed this particular move by the government. They have said that the federalism gets questioned. It's a move to do that. But all in all, I think this particular bill is going to get a patient hearing in the lower house, and we'll have to wait how it pans out.
All right, so we'll have to wait once this bill is tabled in the lower house, Anil. But then talking of the proceedings in Rajya Sabha, the upper house, the glorious journey of 75 years of Constitution of India will continue today as well. Get us more on that too.
Well, Preeti, on that particular subject, yes. Yesterday we have almost seen the opposition getting, for the first time, some kind of momentum when it comes to attacking the treasury benches. But the treasury benches were equally powerful in the retort that they put together, especially Hardeep Singh Puri, the way he said that when it comes to Article 370, he made a mention in Parliament. Nirmala Sitharaman opened the debate. And today, the second day of deliberations, we'll have JP Nadda early in the morning open the deliberations. There is a likelihood that Home Minister Amit Shah might also speak. So it's going to be an interesting day, especially when it comes to deliberations. The beauty of, this particular discussion, finally taking place in the Rajya Sabha. This was the demand of the opposition in the second week of Parliament, the joint all-party meet that took place with the Speaker, and the dates were fixed. But the way Parliament, especially the upper house, has been functioning, there were a lot of question marks whether we could see actually the debate take place. So when the Union Finance Minister opened the debate, it was surprising that the opposition was ready to listen, because the mood in the opposition, especially in the upper house, has been of more of disruptions, almost negligible transaction of business that's taken place in the upper house. But this particular move by the opposition, where they were ready to listen to the treasury benches, was a welcome one. And I think we will see the same bonhomie. It could be a face-off, but the bonhomie, especially when it comes to listening to the treasury benches, and the treasury benches equally patient when it comes to listening to the opposition, is a welcome move, especially in the upper house.
All right, Anil. Thank you so much for joining in with those details. We'll come back to you again during the day once the winter session continues. Thank you for joining in.